Hello everyone and welcome to Dead Internet Chronicles, where I observe and react to the internet of old and new, examining what I perceive to be a complex collection of chatbot chaos. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help me grow my channel. Please do be aware that the themes discussed in this video may be dark and unconventional, and my narration is not explicitly an endorsement. That being said, let's get started. And today we're going to examine this thread on X, which is, what is the most intense nightmare you've ever had? And this one is particularly interesting to me because I have frequent nightmares about a very specific topic. I won't really delve into what that topic is because I feel like that could backfire on me, but just know that I do have frequent dreams about a very recurring situation happening, and it frightens me, and I wake up in a panic just about every time. So we're going to read through this thread. This has the potential to be a very long video, so be prepared. It could be a long video. It looks like people are sharing their experiences in depth. So I scrolled through. I didn't read through anything, but I scrolled through and I saw a lot of paragraphs, which is kind of uncommon for 4chan, but we're going to go with it. I will say before we get started that I am now accepting donations on Ko-fi.com. So if you're interested in supporting the channel and giving me something tangible to keep me going, please donate a few dollars to my Ko-fi account, because anything will help out. Anything will help out with motivation and upgrading equipment and things of that nature. I'm currently working with very limited equipment, but I would hope to upgrade in the near future. So, like I said, feel free to. It's not an obligation, but it would be much appreciated. So with that being said, we are going to get started. And this person said, what was the most intense nightmare you've ever had? And this person said, after an accident I had around 2018, I had a dream where I was sitting on my computer. It felt just like any other time I would be doing so. While doing so, I felt the energy in the room start to change into something ominous and unsettling. In a split second after noticing the atmosphere change, I felt like I was electrocuted and paralyzed, although still conscious and still had visual function. During this paralyzed state, my PC monitor turned black and a large letter A, but without the stroke in between, like a Roman or Greek A. Something similar to that. Whether it was the shape or the letter, I can't tell. But upon seeing it, I heard a sound I could only compare to this blasting through my body. While this is happening, I see a figure form, whether in the room or on the screen I can't tell honestly. It appeared to be Baphomet in the most terrifying presence, telling me to turn the A upside down, which I did, but felt I had no control over myself in the dream. It's pretty unusual. They did link a YouTube video, but I'm not going to open it and watch it, because that just adds too much complication to this simple video. So next it says, the ones where the ex-girlfriend doesn't act like your girlfriend. Tired of that blank. Need to find another one. Also, data mine thread. I don't know why people on X think that everything is data mining. I think people just like to talk about their experiences, and it's a good outlet to do that because you are anonymous to the public. Of course, your anonymity is debatable when it comes to the back end of things, but as far as the public goes, nobody can see who you are, so it just gives you a safe space to discuss your experiences and whatnot. Someone said, blanking your mother. That's about the type of response that I would expect from 4chan. Someone said, I dreamt once that I was standing on a road and a child walked up to me that looked exactly like a young me, except that he was like a painting come to life, kinda how AI images look, with smudges and smears. He starts smiling and then cuts his own throat with his nails. I can't remember if they were claws or not, but still keeps smiling and getting closer. When I woke up, I really came close to blanking myself in fear. That's interesting. This person said, the one where I had to fight my brother and mom as sirens, felt the knife and everything, no different than real life. And then someone said, attempted alien abduction. And then this person said, the nightmares I have are dreams where I have a girlfriend. We are living just fine, well-adjusted lives. Then I wake up and want to die. I can kind of relate to this because I have dreams sometimes where I do have a normal love interest. And it's always somebody that I don't know. Like, I can't picture her face after the dream. But I know that dreams, the people you see in dreams are people that you've seen in real life somewhere. So it's always really interesting to have that dream. And I wake up and I feel really depressed afterwards because I'm just alone again. So yeah, that's not fun. But I relate to what this Anon is going through. Someone said several. And then said, became a Super Saiyan and fought and destroyed a giant Satan in a DBZ style fight. Was sleeping in a car buckled in while someone else was driving and dreaming about some big red dynamite like in Looney Tunes, and then simultaneously lightning struck the street. It was raining. And in my dream the dynamite exploded at the exact same time as lightning striking in real life, causing me to wake up and see a big red fire truck next to the car, same color as the TNT in the dream. Dream about watching the news on TV covering a fire somewhere in Africa or Middle East that was spreading very fast. People kept putting water on it, but it wouldn't go out. But then the fire reaches the ocean, and the water catches fire too. Everyone at this point realizes that this is the fire that burns everything and that the whole world is blanked. Then I looked out my window and saw the flames coming, knowing I was doomed. Dream where I was talking to someone almost at night, and then their head started glowing, but it was the sky lighting up behind them, looking behind their head and see a bright glowing sunset type sun growing larger. Think, strange, the sunset is over there on the horizon. How can there be two suns? But then it starts getting more fire appearance and pieces coming off, and it hits beyond the horizon. Realize it's the big asteroid and it's the end of the world. Shockwave hasn't reached me yet, but wake up. And then dream about every organ and vein and blood vessel and individual body part coming to life in all people, even their blood. Every body part separates into its own monster like John Carpenter's The Thing. Get chased down a hallway by a flowing pool of blood and walking circulatory system. The blood vessels catch me and invade my body through my skin like a parasite, becoming a part of me. Wake up almost blanking the bed. Yeah, that sounds like a terrifying dream. I don't know the practicality of it, but it does sound pretty intense. Someone said, I had this dream a couple months back. I was driving my car from a nearby gas station that I frequent. When I approached the on-ramp back to the highway, I saw a massive Bile Titan from Helldivers 2. It was spraying acid all over the highway. My car slipped and slid up the ramp, and I barely made it through. I drive the opposite direction of my home and end up in another town in the county. There's another blanking Titan. I feel compelled to hide, so I get out and run into a big 3-story house. I get to the top floor, and out of a wall-sized window, I see it. It sees me. panic.mp4. I run downstairs and put the back door and get into my car. It won't start. The Bile Titan rears back to spit on me again, so I drop it into neutral and roll down the hill. I can't stop. Wake up before crashing into a building. Whoa. Sounds like an action movie. Someone said bump. And then this person said, I had the scariest dream in my entire life. Walking down the street, accidentally slip on a banana. While still in the process of slipping, my first banana peel slips onto a second banana peel. Begin slipping twice as fast because double the banana, double the Fofana, sorry. My foot with 2 bananas slips into a third banana and speed doubles again. Begin slipping on a never-ending amount of other bananas simultaneously under my foot, even becoming taller because of the added height of all the new bananas stacking under my foot. Go so blinking fast I break past the speed of light and return to monkey. Wake up covered in whipped cream and chocolate sauce in the kitchen. Mother blanker, it's Sunday. Okay. I don't quite get that, but it is what it is. Usually the ones where I wake up in my dreams to the sound of someone in my house or kicking the door down, feeling an evil presence around the corner, but before I can see it, the dream ends. I've had these type of dreams a few times and they always feel real, but maybe it's because it's a real location, and usually my other dreams take place in fantasy lands. It's weird, I don't really have nightmares anymore, but in these particular dreams I can just sense something evil is there, and whatever keeps ending the dream is protecting me. And then this person said, back when I was in high school, I had a history teacher I adored. The guy was terrifying, though. He was like 6'3", I'm a 5'4" manlet for reference, with those wide, icy blue eyes that stare directly into your soul. He loved to make conversation, but he was always very intense. Not that I minded, he's a great guy and I loved him, but it was hard to see him the same way after this nightmare. I was at school with my friends. I'm normally a lucid dreamer, so really any dream I'm not in control of is a nightmare. However, sometimes when I dream it feels so real I think they're real memories even after I wake up. This dream was like that. School ended. I left class, hung around my friends for a bit at our usual spot before they went home. I stayed at school though, just wandering around aimlessly. Sun was already setting because it was early December. My history teacher's classroom's windows faced the elementary playground. Our school was K through 12. I was meandering in the playground when I realized I could see inside his room since he turned the lights on. When I got closer, I realized he was standing on a desk. Couldn't see upper body, just legs. And a girl, made up by my mind, but I knew she was a perky, honest, sweet junior of mine. Kneeling before him with empty Gatorade bottles strewn around. I knew in my dream that it was a kink thing and she was being taken advantage of. I did the reasonable thing, which was run to my friend's spot in the hopes one of them would still be there to talk it out with me before finding an adult or doing something drastic like calling the police. One of my friends was there, but as I called out to him, I heard my teacher behind me. Christ, he was just grinning, hand on my shoulder, soulless eyes boring into me. He knew I saw. He told me that I wouldn't tell my friend. If I did, he wouldn't believe me. He's a beloved teacher and had been at that school for years, and that there would be consequences for me. I think that story is going to get continued. It might get continued, but we're going to move on for now. Somebody said, begin slipping twice as fast because double the banana, double the Fofana. And they posted this GIF. Someone said, my girlfriend blanked herself in 2015. We were living together, so I found her when I came home from work. I can't really describe the nightmares. They're very chaotic, but they're always about her. They always end the same. I got a phone call telling me it's your fault. I don't know if it's intense, but I can't handle myself after I wake up from them. That's very dark. It's been 9 years. I can't imagine that that's enough time to move on from that, but, hopefully this Anon is in therapy and getting help for their troubles, because that sounds very painful in a lot of different ways. Here's a continuation of the teacher story. Says, this blinking blank then offers to give me benefits. I'd always found him a little attractive in the way a horror fan can be attracted to Slenderman even after blinking themselves playing a game involving him, or grade boost for joining his little harem of students. It wasn't just that girl, but many other students, not even all in high school. I was appalled and denied doing that, but he continued to hammer into my head that I could not bring justice, that the heads of school were under his thumb. It was true, a lot of corruption happened at my school, and that even the police couldn't touch him. Even though I wasn't a victim, I was so sickened I knew this secret but couldn't protect anyone, couldn't protect good people. After I woke up, I remembered the nightmare as a memory. It was that real. I legit started panicking and nearly called the police. Only reason I didn't was because I recited the story to myself to make sure I could be coherent, and realized the little flaws in my story that can only be explained by it being a dream. Little embarrassing, but I didn't actually call 911 or anything. It haunts me even more than my nightmares of actually being blanked. That's crazy. Someone said, I tried a weed vape once that someone was offering around, didn't think much of it, but that night I had a really surreal and disturbing dream, and I put it down to the vape. Never touched one since. A load of blank I can't remember. Part of Starship Enterprise crew, someone had put Star Trek TNG on that evening. Captain Picard giving a toast to celebrate to some new treaty/alliance or something with some aliens or colony or something. We drink our champagne. Captain says, and as a traditional alien toast, your beverages contain mescaline or something like that. I swear before this I didn't consciously know there was a drug called mescaline. I thought it was just random dream blank I'd come up with. Turns out it's a real thing. Everyone starts dropping to the ground on their hands and knees. I get woozy. Start tripping the absolute blank out. It was like watching a horrific presentation while I just observed in horror. Random arm holding sticky notes with writing on them would occasionally enter the frame. Notes would be sort of fourth wall breaking hints about getting out of the trip/dream. Somehow discover the trip is being caused by some kind of psychic spider that has my balls between its teeth and is threatening to bite them while still broadcasting crazy, harrowing, flashing images that are obscuring it. I can see it like the trip is imposed over my room and I'm on my back in bed with the spider there. It's blanking huge. Its head is about the size of a human's. Sticky note pops into frame. Note says something like, all you have to do is reject/denounce God and it'll be over. I'm scared, but I refuse. It bites. Blanking kills, like serious ball being clamped pain. Wake up. Lie there taking a few minutes to regain sanity after the sheer craziness I witnessed. Still terrified and expecting something else to happen. After a while, I assess that I am actually awake and nothing has happened for a while. Normal day. Don't smoke any more weed vapes when offered. Well, the ironic thing about that is the more you use weed vapes, the less dreams you have, or the fewer dreams you have. The less you dream would be a better way to put that. It has a notorious effect of suppressing your dreams, so maybe you just need to hit more weed vapes. I don't know. And then they continued and said, the trip itself was like being on a disorienting roller coaster while having a slideshow of 1 or 2 second long clips of the most blanked up blank my mind could conjure displayed. I remember many of the clips implied that the drink had turned Data into a remorseless killer, and I was seeing snapshots of him mutilating bodies and his face with a blank expression, among other things, usually gore/violence. While this was still being broadcast, it was like an arm reaching in front of the images like they were on a screen, holding sticky notes which had messages written on them in pencil. I remember not always reading them because my attention was being caught more by another image appearing, or the overall sickliness of the images swirling. It was things like "Don't look up" with a winky face. But they were always like they were messing with me, like it was funny and broke the fourth wall. Like it didn't try to pretend the images were real. It was more like saying, "Do this, now do this, and maybe you'll get out of this trip." It made the final sticky note very obvious, central and close up, saying "Denounce God and it'll stop." And at this moment, the images became slightly transparent, so I could see my body slash bed slash room, but with the giant spider there between my legs looking at me through the images. The hand slash note went back off to the side. As I awaited my decision, it applied more and more pressure to my balls with its teeth, trying to threaten me into complying, and it really hurt. When I concluded in my head, there was no sound at all as far as I remember, not to go along with it, which was honestly not an easy decision when your balls are being bitten by a giant psychic spider. It bit down hard and I felt it fully. As the pain became unbearable, I woke up. It took me a few minutes to just lie there and get my head together after the whole thing was the most shaken I'd ever been and still is. I don't know why that second paragraph was necessary, the second post actually, because it seems like they just kind of like reiterated what they said in the first green text. So this person said, "I once had this nightmare that me and my brother were in the bunker in Nacht der Toten from Call of Duty Zombies. We knew zombies were coming to get us, but we had no guns. Eventually they came to us and killed my brother, then attacked me, and I woke up. Not that scary, but I basically never have nightmares." Yeah, that's a blast from the past, man. That was a good game, and that was a good map for zombies. I remember that like it was yesterday. We would play zombies just all day and all night, and like, I don't know, it was really fun. I missed that. Someone said, "I still frequently have dreams that my parents are alive and it was all somehow just a misunderstanding or they had to go away for a while. It always makes sense in dream logic and I always believe it. Then I wake up. They died more than half my life ago." Well, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. Someone said, "My dreams are fine. It's the waking part that's grim." I feel that to an extent. I either have really good dreams or I have really bad dreams. So, you know, I'm with you on that and on. Someone said, "Bludgeoning my entire family to death in slow motion. It was completely out of left field. Definitely some kind of demonic attack in the form of a dream." And then someone said to this post, they said, "That sounds like a nightmare. No excitement, no cults, knowing there's something greater out there but failing to find it. I'd be blinking out of it every day." And someone said, "Darn. I scratched my parents' door with my fingernails once, but they were doing some torture thing and I was in excruciating pain. I do regret it though. Torment makes people do silly things. Pain gives motivation without purpose." And I think that's going to be where we stop today. I know we only made it halfway through the thread, but I will link to the archive post down below in the description, and you can read through the rest of these if you wish. But I'm running out of time here. I try to keep these videos relatively short, because the software that I use, which is Adobe Podcast, the website that I use, rather, it has a time limit of 30 minutes for the free version, and I haven't, really decided to go with the full version to get more time available. So, that being said, this video is going to end now. We're running on about 25 minutes right now, but I hope you've enjoyed. I do appreciate your viewership and thank you for watching. And again, if you want to donate some money to help support the channel, please look down below and see my Ko-Fi link, or Ko-Fi link rather, and you can donate however much you want. It would greatly be appreciated. But like I said, I appreciate your viewership. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.